How's it going, everybody? I'm Jeff Slakey, and I'm sitting here with Becky Schuyten, and we're talking about the Mason County Concert Association. How are you doing?
Good. We're about to start a new season, our almost 75th season.
What? 75 years going strong here in Mason County. Tell me what you know, how long you've been involved with this, and what's the history on this thing?
The history is there was some people back east that wanted to bring first-class music to small towns. We all know you can go to Seattle or Chicago, something for big entertainment, but small towns were being left out. So they started, they called it the Community Concert Association, and it hit like 500 small towns in the U.S.
Okay. Okay, so this isn't the brainchild of someone here in the county. It's kind of a way to get culture, I guess, for lack of a better term, out to the smaller communities. That's really exciting. You've been involved for how many years now?
I've been president for 22 years, but I was on the board before that, so probably 27 years,
Wow.
maybe.
These are at the Shelton High School and at the Performing Arts Center, and that is a top-notch facility.
It
Things
is.
look and sound great when they're there.
Yes. And we have good technicians that work there, and it's a great place to go, and it's right here in Shelton. You don't have to drive to Seattle or even Olympia, no parking fees, and we try to run it on a membership basis, because if you have a ticket, like a season pass, you'll go.
Yeah.
You won't make an excuse, oh, we have a concert tonight. So that's why I always push membership. Plus, we have to pick the concerts a year ahead, sign a contract. Matter of fact, just when we start this season, we're having to pick next year's season. So you have a lot of advanced planning to do, and you hope to get membership to pay for it. And the membership never covers the whole fee. We really depend on donors and are grateful for people who have donated.
So this upcoming performance, it's a father-daughter accordion duo, Maria and Sergei Teleshev. The tickets are $30 for adults, but the season pass, as you were mentioning, is $100, and that gets you in for the whole concert
There's 6
series.
concerts this year. There, yeah, we lose money on that, but we're trying to, after COVID, build back our membership.
What's the membership? What are your numbers like? I mean, what's a good turnout on a good night?
A good night would be over 300. We've sold 217, I think, season tickets so far, but a lot of people will renew that first concert.
Right.
And most of our audience is older. People joke about white hair, but we're trying to get younger people involved. And when I say younger, I mean like before 60. Younger.
Okay, yeah.
And it's a great thing. It's not a meeting, like people in their 50s, their kids are probably gone, and you go and you sit and you have a great time and relax. It's just hard to get people now off their computers and their phones.
Sure.
And there's nothing like a live performance.
Tell me about the other ones throughout this season.
Okay, we have the accordion duo, which
Yeah.
been playing their whole life. They're actually from Ukraine.
Wow.
And have moved to the U.S. And then in November, we have the Rice Brothers, Chris and John, which have been touted as the most charismatic virtuosos in the U.S.
Wow.
So they play off each other, and they do more classical, but they always pick lively classical, and that's when the Concert Association started. It was all classical, but now it's morphed into a little bit of everything, and actually more non-classical, just because people are kind of out of that.
Sure.
So we have the Rice Brothers, piano and cello. And then in January, we have the Starlets, which it's a women's singing group, and they'll sing 50s and 60s.
Oh, fun.
So everybody loves that
Yeah.
era. And then in January, one of my favorites, Fortuna. It's a 4 male chorus group that'll sing every era from classical crossover to pop, and sometimes people call them like the next El Divo.
Oh, really?
You know, one of those
Yeah.
male. You know, it just gives you the goosebumps when you hear them sing, the harmony and everything.
How often? So you said you have to look at these a year in advance. Where do you get the choice to pick who could come here?
Good question. For the last probably 20 years, we've been using Live on Stage. It's a booking agent out of Nashville. And one of their representatives would come and go over the roster with us. They'd send us a catalog, or now, of course, it's on computer. You know, you look up. So you can preview the acts before you actually pick them. And then the acts will come at a certain time of year because it's a national tour. They have to do certain times.
Uh-huh.
So you have to consider the time and then the cost. You know, some things you love to have, but they run as high as 14,000 down to maybe 5,000.
Oh, so different tiers.
So you have to balance your budget with the time of year.
Yeah. What are some of the other ways besides coming to the concerts, just sharing that these are out there? Because that Performing Arts Center can hold a fair amount of people.
Yeah, I think it can hold 700.
Well, wouldn't that be something to get that full up?
It's so hard to advertise. Advertising's expensive. We've tried newspaper, we've tried Facebook, we've tried, you know, I personally paint the sandwich boards, the big ones you'll see around town,
Yeah.
because people drive. And of course, there's people say, "Oh, I've never heard of it." Well, if you don't have a regular office or whatever, nowadays, I don't know, it's hard. And I wished more of our members would try to get other members. That's what we always say, you know.
Right. Grab one person and
Yeah.
double the amount of folks.
So, and of course, life's busy now, but we're also lucky that we're the only remaining concert association in this tour in the area. There used to be Port Angeles, Port Townsend, Hoquiam, Chehalis, Centralia, Longview. I think Longview still, but they've all closed. The only ones around are now Everett and us. And
Is that because of COVID, or is that just
people,
membership? And
yeah, just the membership goes down. And
tell me about
Olympia used to have one, but of course the Performing Arts Center, they couldn't get space.
Well, they got a big old area over there.
But there's so much competition in getting the hall.
Tell me about some of the past performers that we were talking a little bit about this before we started. The past performers either that have come by or you've seen their names and they've gone on to big things.
Yeah, one of our most proud ones, which is within the last probably 10 years, was the Canadian Tenors, which everybody knows now, the Tenors. You see them on PBS. They played for us. And we actually had them scheduled, and one of them got the flu, so they had to cancel because you can't sing without all of them.
Right, you got to have everybody.
So we rescheduled for spring, and then that day they had to fly back and do the what was it, the All-Star game in Houston.
Oh my gosh!
So it was like a quick thing.
Yeah.
And then I've heard that the Dixie Chicks started. We didn't have them, but on this same tour, and just there's a lot of really great people. And they variety. We've had dancers, we've had comedians, we've had weird instruments from foreign lands. You know, we always try to mix it up because it's and then we try to do some educational stuff with the kids. And
you remember a time where you picked a artist, maybe this was before the internet, maybe, and you could actually hear them beforehand, but you thought you were picking something and somebody else showed up, or you go, well, I'm not too sure about this one, and it turned out to be a great performance?
Oh, all the time. Like somebody can say, like we had this organist, and people go, organ? He had 2 organs. One when he played classical one, and the other one he played modern on, and it all blew us away. And Live on Stage will audition like 500 acts, and then but they'll do their roster down to like maybe 25 to 40. So they've already gone through an audition, so they pick good guys. So you know you're going to get a good guy. And then sometimes we will, like we had the Coats last year, and they're famous out of Seattle. So we can pick our own
Yeah.
concerts too.
It just kind of matches with the schedule.
Yes, and yeah.
We'll put the links to the Concert Association's website here, but a reminder that Maria and Sergei Teleshev are kicking things off here for this fall season for the Mason County Concert Association. $30 at the door for that, or you might as well just get the season pass, all 6 performances there, $100, a great deal and a great organization to support that's been around for long time, 75 years or better here in our community. Becky Schuyten is the president of the Concert Association. What else do you have for me?
Oh, family membership.
Yeah.
The parents pay, or grandparents, and then you can bring all the kids you can stuff in the car for $10.
Oh,
'Cause
my.
we're trying to encourage the youth to come
Okay.
too.
Oh, well, that's an even better deal
Yeah.
then. Very cool.
A lot of grandparents bring their grandchildren.
And that's a nice exposure to the arts then too.
Right.
Very
Oh,
cool.
yes.
Well, thank you. Good to talk with you.
Oh, great. Yeah.